Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. It's Mark Zachary with Next Step Home Loans, and we have a podcast and a YouTube channel that we love to answer the questions that we get from different buyers, sellers, people that we visit with on a regular basis. So Mark's Mortgage Guide is the podcast title, I guess, that you can find on Spotify and iHeartRadio, and I think we're on Google Music and Amazon Music and stuff like that. And then also on our YouTube channel, you can find Mark's Mortgage Guide on YouTube, and we try to answer as many questions as we can on the mortgage process. And so I made some notes today on a question that we get fairly often, and it's what is earnest money? And you'll see the description rolling on the bottom. What is earnest money, and what happens to it at closing, and what's typical basically in the state of Texas? And so earnest money is basically a good faith from a buyer, to a seller, and they are saying, "Hey, we are serious in this about buying this property, and we're willing to put up 1% up to 3% of the asking price or the contract sales price to show good faith that we're going to move forward with this transaction, assuming that the appraisal comes back good and assuming that the property passes inspection and all of that." So that brings into another part that I'll discuss in a second about option fees, and we'll talk about that in a second. But your earnest money is typically 1 to 3% of the sales price. So if you're buying a $300,000 sales price and or house, and the sales price is $300,000, your earnest money is going to be anywhere from 3,000, 1%, or 9,000, 3% of the sales price. Now, I typically see 1%. However, in a very hot market, which they come and go, then you may have people that will give 3% down earnest money check. Now, if somebody gives a 3% earnest money check and you give a 1% earnest money check, that means they put $9,000 down to show that they're serious in the property, and then the other one may be putting down $3,000, the 1%. So sellers will ultimately look at that, and realtors look at that. So know your market, and your realtor will be able to help you decide, hey, I need to make, or you need to make a 1% earnest money check out to the title company, or maybe we ought to go higher than that. So your realtor will certainly help you in making that decision. So that kind of talks about the amount. So what happens to the earnest money during the contract? Well, it just sits there at the title company. It is not written to the seller of the property. It's written to the title company that will be closing the transaction for you. Now, some title companies have started accepting wires for the earnest money, and so your realtor should be able to let you know that it's either going to be a check to the title company or a wire to the title company, and they will get you the wiring instructions so you can get to your bank, give them those wiring instructions, and then they send the 3,000 or 1% of the sales price over to the title company as earnest money. So it doesn't just go away. It is applied to your bottom line at the time of closing. So let's say at the time of closing, with your down payment, your closing costs, and your escrow account set up, your total amount is going to be $30,000. And that's just a round number that I'm picking to make it easier. And so let's say it's $30,000. You've put in a 1% earnest money, so that's $3,000. So at the closing, you are going to need to bring $27,000 because the $3,000 that you already have paid as earnest money will apply now to your bottom line. So it's not just money that is thrown away and it doesn't get the check's not written to the seller, and so it'll always apply. Now you will also in the state of Texas have an option fee, and an option fee just simply gives you time to have an option to back out the contract if the inspection does not come back the way you like it, or the appraisal comes back lower than the sales price, or you do not get financing for some reason. Hopefully, you've done all the pre-qualification, excuse me, or pre-approval where you've already taken care of all of that, so you don't have to worry about the loan falling through. So make sure you're working with a good mortgage company like us, that we actually get these things through underwriting. So really, all the things that you need after you get under contract is the appraisal, the title work, and a survey, and then we're off and running to closing. So that's super important to make sure that you have your ducks in a row, so you don't have any hiccups on the mortgage side of things. Once you get under contract. So we talked about. I just made some notes over here. So we talked about what is earnest money, how it applies at closing, and then I had a note here: when do you lose your earnest money? And there are certain times you can lose your earnest money, and I think we're going to do a separate podcast and video on that, because there are different reasons you could lose your earnest money, and so I don't want to make a quick description of that, because that's a lot of money that you could lose if you didn't set your contract up right. So I'm going to cover that at a different time. We talked about briefly about the differences between the earnest money and the option fee. We're typically not going to do much on the file until you give us the go-ahead. You, the buyer, give us the go-ahead that, yes, we've had the inspection done on the property, so we're good to go with moving forward. Because you don't want to do an inspection and it comes back awful, and I've already done the appraisal and all that stuff, because the appraisal has to be paid for at the time of that service. So we normally will not request an appraisal be done until we get the go ahead from you that, hey, the inspection is good, we're moving forward. Those typically will run around $700, and so that's a lot of money, and I don't want to spend your money if you're not going to buy that house. And that's really about the only thing that you have to pay for up front, other than the earnest money. You have the option fee, the appraisal fee. Sometimes you'll have a credit report fee. That those things have gotten pretty expensive as well. So sometimes you'll have that. But I think that's it. I think that covers what an earnest money check is, what it covers, how it applies. Certainly, if it didn't answer your question, let us know. Give us a call or drop us an email, and we'll be glad to answer that question for you. Or you can get on our calendar and have a Zoom get ready Zoom meeting, and we can talk about the different processes and the way we do business, because our goal is to make this process clear, make it consistent, and make it convenient for you. And the more we can communicate to you, and the more you understand, what's the next step in this process, the easier this process is going to be for you, and you won't get frustrated with us because you're doing what we tell you to do when we tell you to do it, and we're going to meet you at closing with funds to close on your new house. So, but be sure and like, subscribe, and share this podcast or this video if you're watching on YouTube. Um, share this out to anybody that you know of that is wanting to buy, sell, or refinance a property. We'd be glad to answer any questions for those as well, and would appreciate helping us build our channel. We understand we're not one of the biggest. We can't compete with the big boys on their marketing dollars, and so but we also know that they can't compete with us on the personal service. So we're not one of the biggest, but we know we're one of the best. And so we would love the opportunity to work with you or answer any questions you have on the process. Information is free where I come from, so never hesitate to call or email, and we'll get all your questions answered. All right, that's it for now, and we'll see you next time. Be sure and tune back in and subscribe, like I said, so you get notified of when our next question are answered. And we also interview top real estate agents and professionals in the industry. And so we want to make buying a home very convenient for you, and educate you on the process and the best way to go about it. So anyway, thanks again. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time on Mark's Mortgage Guide. Take care.